How do you overcome perfectionist thinking, especially if it's sabotaging your health goals? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Hey there, I'm Erica Jones with Elevate.com, where we're helping high performers weave wellness and longevity into their daily rhythm. I'm also a recovering perfectionist, meaning I have to intentionally and consistently work against the mental traps that I would otherwise fall into. I did a part 1 on this topic of perfectionism as it relates to health, and I'll link that in the description. But as a quick recap to video 1, a lot of people think that perfectionist thinking is an honorable or virtuous quality. I used to think of it as evidence that I'm unrelenting in my pursuit of excellence, but actually it has a lot of drawbacks, especially if you're on a health journey. I get into the nuances of how this plays out in that first video, but today we're going to focus on how to overcome perfectionist thinking. And this is not a one and done kind of thing. If you struggle with this, it tends to be something that you have to be intentional about. And for me, it's routinely built into my lifestyle. And here's what I regularly do to overcome perfectionist thinking as it relates to my health and wellness. Number 1 is I document my wins. I know this sounded so cheesy to me when I was first introduced to the idea in a business mastermind, but it truly helps to crush the mindset of perfectionism. High performers and high achievers, perfectionists, they tend to forget their successes and immediately move on to the next goal once the previous one has been achieved. To combat this, I regularly document my wins. Sometimes I do it daily, sometimes weekly, but I always have a list I can refer back to at the end of the month. I put my lists in this notebook that I can go back to and see my progress. I jot down tangible accomplishments like launching a project, but also the intangibles that are oftentimes even more important, like special moments I've had with Isaac or the children, or insights into my own personal development and awareness. And writing these things down is a personal acknowledgement to myself that I'm moving forward with my goals and I'm doing a lot better than I typically think, because I can be hard on myself. Second thing I do is I talk myself out of downward spirals. Mistakes tend to trigger perfectionists, and then those mistakes turn into a flurry of negative self-talk that beats you up and crushes your momentum. I counter this daily with affirmations. This is another one that I didn't fully believe in until I tried it. Affirmations are self-empowering statements that are meant to support you mentally and emotionally as you're making positive behavioral changes. They're one of the most powerful ways to influence your belief in yourself, and regular repetition of affirmations can lead to the development of new neural pathways, promoting more positive thinking patterns. And positive thinking is kind of like a muscle that gets built up in your brain. A simple habit of affirmations in the morning can make it a lot easier to build yourself up after you've made a mistake. Number 3 is I evaluate what's working and what isn't. And this has been a huge benefit for me, not just on my health journey, but in my life in general. I'm constantly making notes of what's working for me and what isn't. And the things that work, I double down on, and the things that aren't working get changed. For example, I used to take meeting requests at any time during my workday in an effort to support our team. But then my days were fragmented and my workout time was booked over with Zoom calls. I felt stressed and like I was failing because I wasn't following through on my exercise goals. But after a bit of reflection, I realized I actually need to create boundaries around my schedule so I can prioritize my workouts. Once I communicated this to my assistant, my calendar was blocked. No meetings were scheduled during that time, and it made it so much easier for me to follow through and be successful with my health goals. Hopefully this has been helpful to you and it's given you some tangible ideas of how you can combat that perfectionist thinking with practical tips and strategies that will support you on a regular basis. If you want a simple way to ease into wellness without an over-the-top routine that requires a 5 a.m. wake up and hours of meditation, check out my 5-minute daily detox for entrepreneurs and high performers. This one actually works in real life. Link in the description below. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. And until next time, make time for what matters.